What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. My name is TradeFly, bringing you some of the most important market news as well as technical analysis that you can actually use. Sorry for a little bit of delay there. I actually had to close my software, open it back up real quick. Hopefully you guys didn't notice too much there, but the audio was going nutty on me. So hope everyone is doing well. Bitcoin is making a very nice move off of a very critical level of support. We have been looking at that for quite some time. It does kind of seem like we're starting to build a range for Bitcoin. So it is not over by any means. I know there has been this mix of emotions where people are riding the highs saying we're so back, and next thing you know, it's pulling back, and then next thing they're saying, hey, it's doom and gloom, it's going down. We got a lot on the charts to look at, and we're gonna look at that today. We're gonna do that together. It's not gonna be anything too crazy. I mean, we're gonna try to make the most sense out of this without being moon, without being doom, without being crazy, without having a bias. That's just the way we're gonna roll. We're gonna keep it 100 around here. So let's go ahead and get over to the chat. Let's say what's up to everybody. I see you guys in here flowing. I love it. And you know, I got to give you your shout out. So A to Ace, what up to you, dude? Thank you for being in the chat. We got Jessica Look. How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Alexandra G, the best mod in all the space. How you doing, lady? We got my man Username. What up, dude? How you doing? We got Infinite Team TA. What up, bro? Thank you for being here. Much love. We got the GM dude himself, Andrew Cameron. How you doing, brother? Hope all is well with you. And my dude, Crypto Squid. Hey, if you guys don't mind, do me a favor. Go ahead, share this out. I did not actually post in the Discord or any of that craziness. I'm slacking. I got life. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, but hey, we're here. We're bringing you guys some content. We're going to look at the charts. We're going to get you some alpha. And that is how we are going to roll. So let's go ahead and get over to a little bit of an update here. And hey, the old Trumperoo, the orange man himself, has pardoned Binance founder CZ. Got mixed emotions, to be honest with you. I really it's a back and forth with CZ. There's some good that he does in the space, but there's also, I think, some bad he does in the space as well. I don't think he's the great guy that everybody, wants him to be, but here nor there, he has been pardoned. There you go. Congratulations, man. I know it's a full trip for you, man. You went to jail and now you've been pardoned. I guess it's a little bit late for that since you already went to jail, but here nor there. It is what it is, man. All right, Crypto Bubbles, here you go. COAI is up 40% in one day. That thing is pumping through the moon. So that is Chain Opera looking good right now. Maybe we'll take a look at that in the chart here in a little bit. We got, what is it? World Liberty Finance is up 14.1%. Aster's up 11%. Is there any other big move? Hype is up 8.6%, but it's a sea of green. It is good. It is good to see out there. Looking for any biggies. Do we have any like big names that are kind of moving in the wrong direction? Not too much. I guess Tau maybe a little bit. That's down 1.2%. Zex down 1.5%. IP down 2%, but nothing too crazy out there. It is green. It is looking good. It is looking good. I would say the average though is about 2-3% on average across the market. And that is what you want to see. We are getting to a, I won't say a key level of resistance, but we are getting to a level that I think could provide a little bit of resistance. And I think you're seeing the makings of that already. And we will talk about that when we get to the charts here very soon. But you know what we got to do? We got to do one of your guys' favorite segments. That is going to be the Daily DJ. And here we go. Let's see what you guys got going on right now. I did not actually pop out the chat, so you're gonna have to see me go back to that real quick. And here we go. We're over to the live chat. We're gonna pop you guys out. This is how it works. You guys are getting a little look behind the curtain here. I'm gonna go slide that over. So I got it on mine and back to Bit2Nex. Here we go. All right, so it looks like you guys are 50-50 right now. You got 8 votes in, 50-50. There's a draw. There is a draw. All right, man, that one's going to be tough. Somebody's got to break the draw, man. Up to you guys. Go ahead, get those votes in. I see Username. He's loving them ladders. What if TradeFly became the Indiana Jones of crypto? Tell me more, Username. I'm listening, man. Hopefully that means I'm a hero. All right, so we need, oh, there it is. There it is. The breaking vote right there. All right. Broke the tiebreaker. We got 9 votes in, 56% now. Moon. Let's go. I'm on Jelly. So just so you guys know, this is not how I trade. This is just for fun. And we let you guys, the audience, vote whether we go long or short. So simple enough. You know what we're going to do. We got 5 on it. Let's go ahead and send it. That is 10x. You know, we like to do a little bit more than that around here. Let's go ahead and bump that up. Bump it up to 20x. There we go. And that is that. We will confirm. It is market. It is isolated. Doing all the spot checks here. 20x, good. And you guys are now 60% long. So it is confirmed. Jelly, peanut butter jelly time. We're going long. All right, so that one's in there based on your guys' vote. We'll see how it plays out. You guys do win a lot though. Go back to the old order history here. Is it history? Yeah, it's order history. There you go. I think this is your guys' last one. If I remember correctly, it was 45%. So, man, I mean, you guys crush. And then, I don't know, Bless. No, Bless was me. That was an actual trade. This one was actually you guys. You lost your booties on that one. Whew. That one was tough. That was probably the biggest loss the Daily DJ has ever had. But when it comes down to it, you guys win way more than you lose. So we will see. We will see how this plays out. Again, this is just for fun. Ain't no biggie. Let's go ahead and protect ourselves real quick, though. Put a little stop loss on here. We'll put it under VWAP. So we'll just put the stop loss right there. You guys are long, and there is your TP, right? So pretty much a 1-to-1. That's pretty much how we roll here. If we shoot to the top there, 20x, that'll be a pretty nice win for you guys. Let's go ahead and get on over to the economic calendar. Why? Because whatever, existing home sales, nothing burger. But tomorrow, I say pay attention. All right, that's core inflation rate month over month and year over year, as well as inflation rate month over month and year over year. All right, so that is coming down the pipe. That can shake the market. There is no doubt about it. All right, and that is tomorrow. So strap up, get ready, because that is coming down the pipe. Let's go over to the liquidation heat map. That's probably moved a little bit since I loaded it. So we'll go ahead and refresh it. Market moves. All right, we got to stay on top of it. So you are seeing some liquidity come in here at about 111.8. 111.8 on the 3-day. It is heating up. All right. But what do you see? You see a very clear trend working its way up towards that liquidity. So, hey, for me, that's we're going to keep our eye on that. All right. I would say it's in trouble. I'm not saying it's got to go there, but it's in trouble, right? Because you got a very clear trend working its way up, higher highs, higher lows, straight into liquidity. I would say it's got a chance. It's got a chance to go up and grab that. Now, that being said, coming on over the chart on the 4-hour, you are seeing this, and this is what I was talking about right here. All right, so when I kind of made mention, I was like, hey, we're getting into a little bit of resistance. It's right here, right? So you have the 618 as well as the value area low of the range. All right, so we're trying to work our way back up and reestablish above that. So it's not surprising to see a little bit of resistance there at a key level, right? You got the value area low of the range. I would classify that as significant. If you're looking at the momentum, right? If you're looking at market cipher or any of those indicators here, you can see the momentum in my eyes, looking at it, just a quick glance, is working its way to the upside on the 4-hour. You do have the 200 SMA way up here above the 0.786. So, I mean, you're good there in terms of having some room to run. And then you have your monthly pivot up here as well. But again, you did come up to the golden pocket. And that is going to provide a little bit of resistance here. All right, so would I be looking for a short right now? That is going to be, I'd say, pretty tough, right? Because I know that liquidity is just above us. That is just one piece of the pie here for me in terms of an entry. I would like to see that liquidity off the table. You get that liquidity off the table, then I'm way more interested in thinking about a short. And maybe come back up here, retest these areas around the 0.786, the monthly pivot, take liquidity out, see a rejection. If you see a wick that looks like this, but it's up here, that would be a lot more enticing to me. Okay, so I do know that Trump is going to be talking today. I believe that's soon, but I'll have to double check on that. But that could have, an impact on the market too. You could see a little bit of stabilization in the market. The market might cool down, kind of fizzle out until he starts talking, and then you start seeing the volatility come in and seeing it bounce around. But if you zoom out, which I'm not going to do right now, just understand that the structure is great. I guess I will. I'll zoom out just a little bit real quick. I've talked about this over and over again. Structure's good. Okay, you have a lot lining up, and you know what? It actually does give me an opportunity to talk about something that I posted in the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, get over the Discord. You'll get stuff like this. Okay, so from 2021 high, right? I took and made a channel, and I basically went from the high down to the support right here. Made this channel. This was kind of the assumption that we're going to kind of follow this trend on the way up. This was a moneymaker for me, all right, at multiple levels. One, you got rejected. You actually came back down for the retest here, and then you actually tried to hold above. So, like, this channel has really, really been pretty good. So why does it kind of raise, I'm not going to say the flag, but why does it get my attention right now? Well, because if we were to work our way back down, all right, a couple things here. One, you got a nice order block on the daily. Let's go ahead and get that off of here. Let's clean this up just a little bit. All right, get that off. Let's get the moving averages off. And then you can see potential trade setup, but let's go ahead and get rid of that for now. And we'll talk about it in a bit. I'll bring it back up for you guys if you're curious what I'm looking at here. But, let's put that back. All right, so there you go. So this is our area of support, right? Very clear horizontal. That's sitting at about 107.5. I've been talking about that for, I feel like, a couple weeks at this point. And I mean, that was clear as day. You had the POC of the previous range. You had a very clear area of support. That's basically the swing low. And then we came back down. We took liquidity off the table, right? There's the wick right there. There's the wick. And then we've reestablished above 107.5. And so if you guys listen to any of the spaces, if you listen to me talk, I was like, hey, we take the liquidity off the table. We come back above 107.5, breakout, retest of 107.5. I put that in the Discord as well. And then you look for that move up, and we're not taking it much higher than the value area low, right? So in, out, wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Nice little move there. And now it's kind of like establishing a range, okay? So we're sitting at a range right now, and that's kind of, we got to wait for the move to kind of transpire at this point in my mind. So, but here nor there, if we break from below or break to the downside of this area, so about 106.4, if we break to the downside and we see something set up like this, like I may be enticed to take a short down to this area, because I do think that it will be inevitable if we were to see a breakout retest and then it actually starts forming some bearish candle structure out of that area, okay? So you got a little bit of a range going on, but if you start seeing some bearish candles coming out of that area on the retest, then I think it's almost guaranteed we come back down to here and retest these levels. Now, if we retest these levels, hear me out, hear me very clear, that channel is now in play. So that channel's in play, and if you're curious how well it holds up, here's your evidence. Over and over and over and over and over again until it didn't. And what did it do then? Breakout, retest, continuation. Okay, so that lets you know. And then right here, it's just all over it. It's all over it again. All right, so it's definitely significant. And I don't know that other people are looking at it. I can't guarantee that. I have seen a couple people imitate that channel at this point after I started talking about it. All Gucci. That's respect. Guess that means I'm making an impact. But here nor there, you have a nice horizontal. You got the 0.5. You got the trend of the current range, or not you got the support level, all right, the lower area of support of the current trend. That's this blue dashed line, okay? So that's providing support too. Need some evidence on that. Just zoom out a little bit. There you go. And that one started in August, okay? Beginning of August, retest. Shall we retest again? Because if the trend is your friend until the end, that's why I say, like, hey, we're all Gucci. Even if we were to pull back down to these levels, all Gucci, you haven't really broken the trend. You're actually still keeping the current structure of what we've been seeing. And these pullbacks here, like if you're measuring the pullbacks off the high, all right, this one was about 34%. This one was about 34%. We're only at like 20-something right now. All right, I don't even think that would be 34%. I don't even think it would be close. I think it's like something still in the 20s. But you start lining, you got a lot of confluence. Okay, a ton of confluence. So yeah, 22%. So there you go. So I am not saying that we have to go here. Okay, so again, you're going to hear me say this over and over again. You're probably tired of hearing it. But what I am telling you is if then statement, if we do come down here, have an alert, watch the candles, and then it might be an opportunity. And you can follow me if you want. If I jump in, and if you want to follow me, obviously that's on you. That's your own decision. But I am likely, if I see a nice little bounce, if I see buying pressure come in at this area, I am likely to take a pretty decent sized capital trade out of this area because there's just a lot of confluence. Now, that was the box you saw earlier. And what would I be looking for? I ain't fighting this damn trend. I'm gonna let you know right now. So like, I'm not sitting here saying, hey, like we bounce here and it's up right forever. Nah, that's not my game. Okay, so what I'll be looking for is just a nice little move up, back down to back up to where we had support. Let's go ahead and update this. And there you go. So it hasn't really changed, right? Like maybe, I think it was at 2.9. That's if the wick is a little bit higher. But let's even say, let's be conservative. Let's take it, we'll take it all the way down here. All right, that gives you 2.44. That's enough to cover your fees. Okay, so you're at least going to get a 2-to-1. You're going to get about a 5% move. And it's on you if you want to put a little bit of leverage on there or not. That's totally up to you. Me, I'll probably use like 3x, 15% trade. No biggie. If it goes to the downside, that would hurt a little bit, but that's only about 6 to 7%. Okay, so that's what we're looking for in terms of risk to reward, making sure you're getting at least that 2-to-1. And that's really, really what I have my eye on right now. And unfortunately, I wish I could be like, come on here every day and be like, here's your next one. Here's your next one. No, I'm just going to keep beating the drum. I'm going to keep beating the drum on this one because this is my higher probability. This is my higher confidence area where I would feel more comfortable, talking about this. All right. So a lot of the stuff that, we're looking at on shorter time frames, like that's not as high probability unless you start tying in some of the leverage, or not the leverage, but some of the liquidation areas and things of that nature. If you're looking at this, like, we had a good hunch on this at 107.5 because of liquidity. There was a ton of liquidity sitting there. There's not as much liquidity sitting there now. There is some at 106.3. So if you were to see, something along the lines of this, let's go ahead and get rid of that. But if you see a nice little wick right here, understand it doesn't have to come down below this anymore, all right? Because we saw the hotspot on the map is at 106.3. You just have to see a wick that looks like this right here, all right? It doesn't have to come all the way down anymore, all right? So you got to understand that. Like, you can't always just look for it to come down to that last area of support and think that that's the opportunity. That's not always the opportunity. Sometimes it is higher than, this area here, because really what has happened is it's cleared out a lot of the liquidity. Now, understand that liquidity is building back up between here and here. All right. But really, we verify that by going over the liquidation heat map, and we're saying, okay, where is the hotspot? Where is the liquidity actually sitting at? And that will tell you at 106.3, 106.2. That is the hotspot. And then you will see a subsequent area at about 104. Okay. 105 in that area. All right, so that's all the way, about 104. All right, will it come all the way down and take that? I mean, it could, but even if it does come all the way down to 104, right? Like, that's pretty much right in line with that. But the hot spot, the one that I think is worth chasing, is right here. But how do you kind of keep it? How are you safe if it were to work its way down and take all of that liquidity off? You're not going to see this. You will not see this. This wick will not look that way. This wick will look, let me find a good example. Let's find a good one. You're going to see something like this, okay? Now, don't pay attention to the fact that it reversed. All right, that's insignificant. But you're going to see something like this, and this body of the candle will be closed, right? Like it'll be filled in. And you're going to see it close below this range, most likely. All right. Most likely you'll see it close, right? You'll have a nice impulse move to the downside. You come back up. You work your way back up. Lower time frames, obviously, not the daily. And take that into consideration as well. Understand that when we're talking about this and we're looking at the candles, like these candles you're going to be looking for on smaller time frames, 4 hour, 1 hour, even 15-minute, depends on how you like to trade. But you're going to see the body actually filled in, and then you're going to see it come back up and retest this area. And then that'll be a decision, but it's going to be distinctly different looking when you see it. Okay, so just understand that this buying pressure will come in quick if we're looking for a move to the upside, and then it will not come in quick, and you will see candle closes underneath of this area if, you know, the likelihood is, or more, if it's more likely to go to the downside. But in that case, you're actually waiting for what I was talking about, and that's actually the retest. Okay, it comes back up, and then you start seeing bearish candles come out of this area, right? Like then it starts, you see a rejection, start working its way back down, and then I say the door's wide open for this to happen, and that's to go down to about 100, and then open up that opportunity for taking this trade right here. Okay, so that is what I'm waiting for, and like that is all the sauce. It's all the sauce. I mean, that's premium stuff. If you were to go to most of the Discords, right? I walked you through it all. I told you what you're looking for with the candle structure. I told you the key area. I told you the setup. I gave you everything. All right. So there you go. Let's look at USDT dominance real quick. We're going to take a look-see. All right. So you're working your way back up towards resistance here. Remember the inverse relationship. If we do reject, though, that would be a bad sign, but you do have support right here. So again, inverse relationship, all right? Just keep that in mind. Just understand that you're getting up towards resistance right now, which would actually be a good thing if you were to see a rejection here and it starts working its way back down, right? Because then this go down, Bitcoin price go up, all right? And I would say, you know, the probabilities might actually be in your favor if you're looking at just USDT dominance. Obviously, old Trumparoo, the orange man, can ruin that here in the next 5 minutes because that's his thing to do. All right, let's go over to total market cap. We'll look at that. Now this is interesting to me. All right, Bitcoin working its way back up, kind of recovering, finding support here. But look at how the total market cap has actually come down. So altcoins, a lot of altcoins, I'm not going to say all altcoins, but a lot of altcoins have gotten kind of beat up. And they're like bear market lows, some of them. Some of them have not, you know, even exceeded some of their 2024, 2025 highs. 2023, actually, you know, they were moving pretty positively as well. So, you know, what are we seeing? Something that, you know, we talked about quite a bit for Bitcoin dominance. All right, look, I drew this for you because I know we talked about it. We came down, all right, found some support, worked our way up, and it's been an ascending level of support. Now, when I drew this, I believe it was right around here. All right. And it's following that trend. It's blown right through, you know, pretty much everything. It's looking very strong. So what does that mean? It means that there's starting to be a rotation back into Bitcoin, and which why you would see Bitcoin price rise at a parallel to the altcoins. And so I think that you're seeing more of that traditional move again, because look, you know, Bitcoin 2.73%, Ethereum's at 1.5 to the positive. You might see Bitcoin move up, consolidate, and then as it consolidates, you see that rotation back. But man, like honestly, it's not great for the alts, to be honest with you. Like there's just no way around it. And Bitcoin dominance, I mean, you see right here, same thing. You got that trend, just kind of like Bitcoin price action, except it's already come back and retest. It already came back and retested this area of support here, this trend line. So, you know, it's working its way up, and until it breaks this trend line right here, the smaller one. I don't know if you guys can see it that I have going on. Let's zoom in just a little bit for you. Until it breaks that, I mean, that's going to be kind of tough. You know, Bitcoin is kind of the safe haven right now in my mind, and you ride Bitcoin. And then once Bitcoin starts to consolidate, then you can maybe rotate back. If you're actually trading, you know, that's on you guys on how you approach this. But yeah, Bitcoin dominance just looking pretty strong. Let's go back to total market cap. I kind of strayed off just because I noticed that Bitcoin dominance had actually gone up. And let's go ahead and look at that. So yeah, you're getting up to a little area of resistance. We already had that marked out for you guys here. We had a very clear horizontal that we've had our eyes on. And if you just look at the structure here, Like you had support, cool. You broke down. This wick doesn't even count in my mind because that was just a news driven move, liquidation event, yada yada yada. But this does matter to me. And if we do not reestablish this range above this horizontal level, that's not great in terms of total market cap. It's really not, because what it's kind of showing me, if you just zoom out just a little bit on the daily at least, and it's probably more prominent on the 4 hour would be my guess. Yeah, ish. We'll say ish. But what I'm looking at is off the high, obviously come down to the low, boom. I don't even count that wick. Boom, boom. Where are we going to go here? And what's next? I mean, if you're looking at the structure, you know, I guess if this set a lower low, then we get really scared. Maybe we start to see some consolidation. Maybe that's best case scenario right now. Well, it's not best case scenario, but maybe that's the more probable. You know, just kind of looking. You're always trying to get ahead of the price action, right? Like, didn't actually set a lower low, so that's good. Lower high obviously did establish, but the lower low is something you're going to keep an eye on. A really nice bounce out of the golden pocket, top of the range. You know, we talked about that for total market cap previously. And so that's all. I mean, that all aligned. That was good. You know, that is definitely what we wanted to see in terms of, hey, tap the range, cool. 618, cool. Get a bounce, cool. All right, so there's definitely like hopium, but I think I don't get too excited until total market cap actually sets a higher high here, in conjunction to the 3.79, right? So, or 3.8. We'll say 3.8. All right, so we get up here above about 3.8, and you see a little bit of a breakout retest. You know, see something like that. Cool. I think we're Gucci, but right now, I would say a little indecisive for me. It's going to be a hard read in terms of total market cap. What I would look at in terms of total market cap, though, is if you are in a trade, let's say that you're looking, you know, at or in a long position right now. Once you get up to that 3.8, and if you come over to USDT dominance, and you start seeing that get to an area of support or resistance, man, what happened here? I feel like we're missing some stuff. That's all good. Is it the moving averages? No. Nope. Interesting. Anyways, so, you know, that's you want to kind of cross check these three charts in my mind. So let's say that you're in a long position, you're getting up to resistance on total market cap, and then you start getting to an area of support for that's market cap. That is USDT dominance. It looks funny. I don't know why. Anyways, but if you get around, I'd say about 4.82, you know, you can see that horizontal. That's pretty prominent in my mind. If you're getting around that area and total market cap is getting resistance, and then Bitcoin is hitting some kind of resistance as well. Obviously, we don't know where exactly that's going to be, but you're looking for confluence between the charts. I would actually say up here where the liquidity is, where we talked about, actually would make a lot of sense. So as I look at this a little bit more, you come up, you take the liquidity, all right, you look for that SFP, swing failure pattern, get that rejection, monthly pivot, get underneath of that, and then I think that opens up the door for a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a move to the downside, you know, where maybe we come back in and retest this value area low. I think that's a nice little flow that makes a lot of sense. Again, it's not a me saying we're going to go there. It's a me saying, hey, if this happens, if we go up and we see confluence between the three charts and we take the liquidity off the table, opens up the opportunity for a short, and then you come back down and then you wait till it retests the value area low, and then maybe this liquidity moves up. If the liquidity moves up, then you start looking at it. Maybe there's a long on the table, or maybe we come all the way back down and take this liquidity to the bottom side. And so that's kind of my thought process. Like when I'm thinking through this, like, hey, am I going to go short? Am I going to go long? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not doing anything right now. Like I'm chilling because I know where the hot spots on the map are. And I'd say you're kind of in the middle. And if you're in the middle, why take a trade? It just seems silly to me. So, all right, let's go over the chat real quick. See what you guys got going on. We got Wix Wi-Fi 89 in the chat. What up, lady? Good to see you. We got B Team Crypto in here. What up, man? Hope all is well with you. Andrea, it's a bitty Gucci. How you doing, girl? Good to see you in the chat. Steve Hickey, what up, man? Good to see you in the chat as well. All right, let's see. Infinite Team TA, 100%. I have an SD and red at my trading desk. When TradeFly hates, I buy. All right, man. What am I hating? What am I hating? French Toaster, what up, man? Red was my fave. What did I say? I don't even know what I said here. I see a lot of red. I'm trying to mentally process while I'm live right now, like what I said. Oh man. Tell me what I said in the chat. Bingo Bango, is Joe in here? What up, bro? Good to see you, man. Hope all is well with you, Harp. What up, dude? Good to see you. Got all the shout outs here. All right, cool. What did I say? I'm waiting. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat what I said. If I said something, I don't know what I'm hating on. Let's, all right. I still don't see anything. All right. It is what it is. Let's go over to ETH. Here we go. We'll look at it on the daily first. All right, so pretty clear level of resistance right here where your arrow is. That's also 618, golden pocket. We haven't even made it up there. Haven't even made it up. So there you go. Squid, if you like to buy when I hate, there it is, man. Yeah, that's your pretty clear area. I mean, you got the POC, you got the very low, you got the 618, you got a horizontal level, all sitting right there. Let me go ahead and pull that out just a little bit. That's all about 42 to 43. I think I've talked about that quite a few times on the show at this point. That is a pretty significant level. We did see that rejection off of there, and so far it's just lower highs. And I won't say lower lows because if you look at it this way, I mean, there's an argument for, potential bear pennant if you're into those kind of things, where you're seeing a descending level of resistance and an ascending level of support. There's a squeeze happening right now. Let's get rid of this. That's just blowing my mind right now. So you are getting a little bit of a squeeze. I'd keep your eye on that. But look at the momentum. You see how the indicator is showing you something different, right? The momentum is actually to the downside here on the daily. So it's, I'm not going to say that really tips my bias, but, it does a little bit, right? Because one of the things that I look for when you start formulating a range or if you formulate, some kind of pennant or something that looks along those lines is at which direction did it enter that formation? And in this case, it entered from the top side, right? Which in my mind, I would just think, hey, naturally, pushing down a little bit would make sense. So there you go. I would say there's probably a little bit more pressure down than there is up, but it has a lot to do with the market. Bitcoin is obviously the North Star, but what are we looking for, man? There's definitely an opportunity down here. We got to we know that there's buying pressure here, but now you also know that there's liquidity here from this wick to this wick right here. There is definitely going to be some liquidity sitting in that range. We already had a very prominent horizontal. We've already identified that. That's at about 35 to 3,600 for Ethereum. So I believe that if we work our way back down, it looks like you're trying to establish a little area of support right here, which does coincide with the high of this range. I don't know if it's going to be worth it in terms of jumping in something if it were to come down and bounce. Let's look. If you were to come down and bounce off of this level, go up, cool. Got it. Again, you don't want to fight the trend here. If you see this descending level of support, resistance, keep that in mind for to work our way back up. And let me put a little bit of there you go. There you go. It's about 6%, just under 5%. Let's see. Now, again, this is going to be one where the wick kind of plays a prominent role in whether you're going to get a 3 to 1 or not. So it really has a lot to do with where is that wick going to be. And if we were to just come down to the wick that we had during that little drop on the Friday, that'll give you a 2.67. I think that the juice might be worth a squeeze on that. And does that coincide? Does it end up coinciding with Bitcoin, if it were to go to 100? It could. You could see a lot of parallels, right? And then you look at USD dominance, you look at the total market cap, you look at Bitcoin. If all those things are kind of lining up for you, I do see an opportunity there. If you like trading Ethereum, vice Bitcoin, maybe that could line up. If you like trading some of the altcoins that are related to Ethereum, that could line up based on Ethereum. Some people that trade the alts use Ethereum as the North Star for them in terms of starting to look at some trades. But I think the opportunity is definitely there for Ethereum. You wouldn't be totally fighting. You may bring that down maybe just a little bit, but maybe a little closer to about 5%. That still gives you a 2-to-1. But yeah, I think there's an opportunity there if it were to work its way down. Again, don't fight the current area or the current trend. All right, so that'll be another kind of quick in, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, kind of deal. But just to reiterate, if you guys are new, tuning in for the first time, why don't you give me a like, give me a subscribe? I'm giving you all the freaking sauce in the world here, setting you guys up. But 28 to 2900, mark that on your charts, please. That is a very prominent area of support. I will keep reiterating that every show, just because eventually you guys will listen and mark it on your charts. But I do believe if we work our way down here, you will find some support and you will find a nice opportunity for a bounce. But again, I don't know that we ride that one anywhere past about 33 to about 3,400. So again, keep your eye 28 to 2,900. Mark that one's on your chart. Let's go back over to hates Rockadoodle-Doo. Oh, Jesus. What is happening? All right. You guys, you're crazy. All right. Working on to the next thing. Let's check on our... Oh. Did I take a Bitcoin position? I thought I had Jelly up. Well, I guess we're in Bitcoin, fam. Sorry. I saw Jelly up here. Because I was looking at Jelly before the show, and I was like, let's do Jelly just because of the freaking song, Peanut Butter Jelly Time. I bet that one's probably. Well, you know what? I guess it's for the best that I messed up and we took Bitcoin and not Jelly. You guys are up 2.83%, so that's a win for you guys so far. Maybe. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly. Yeah. Maybe my daughter run around sing that song. Peanut butter jelly in a baseball bat. Peanut butter jelly in a baseball bat. All right. Let's look at CAS. All right. I had a homie jump on the chat last night. I was in the Discord. I went live. But he asked me to look at CAS. Now, he was asking me some fundamental questions. All right. And I'm not a big fundamentals guy, just for clarity. And this is what you wanted to happen for CAS. Guess what didn't happen? You did not get a breakout retest of that trend line or horizontal level there at about 8.1, and it's just been ugly ever since, right? It's been ugly ever since. And this is what I talk about. You don't want to fight the trend. All right, so let's say, hey, you're looking at this, and you're like, ooh, look at this clear horizontal right there. Look at it. Come down, you grab liquidity, reestablish the range, works its way up. This is actually great. This is a great example. All right, that obviously didn't happen. So, this is a great example. Comes down, takes liquidity, reestablishes the range, works its way up. This is what I talk about when I say don't fight the trend. Do not fight the trend. Because you'll end up round tripping it a lot of times. So, here you go. You had a nice little trend line here. Obviously, that played out, worked its way. Let's measure that too. Let's say you got in just above the horizontal level. That would have been a nice little trade. About a 9% banger, maybe 10% if you just got out on the trend line. Put a little leverage on that thing. That's an almost 30% trade. Why be greedy? Everyone wants to hit a home run. How did Tony Gwynn get to the Hall of Fame? He hit singles his whole career, and he was really good at it. You know who's not in the Hall of Fame? The two dudes that juiced up and hit home runs. I'm just saying. So, Anyway, that's a nice little example. Liquidity, got it, reestablished range, works its way up. Don't fight the trend, hits the trend line, and then boom, boom, and see ya. So if you would have tried to stay in this trade, you would have got stopped out. If you were to, hey, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna move it, take my stop loss, move it to entry, you would have got stopped out. And if you left it, you would have lost money when you had the opportunity to win. And so that kind of like follows my point a little bit in terms of stop fighting the trend when you get into some of these positions. All right, so actual TA. Let's zoom out a little bit. Well, that's just ugly. Yeah, that does not look good for Cass. This is blowfin. Let's find one that has a little bit more of historicals. Probably Mech C would be my guess. Let's look at Caspa. Well, this is just spot. So that probably has the most historicals, would be my guess. Oh gosh. This is wild, man. Down the platinum pocket, the bottom of the platinum pocket. All I gotta do is just extend this out a little bit. There you go. Let's do a new one just because I think I've updated my settings, and when you update your settings, there you go. A little better, right? I mean, I wish I had better news for you, but this chart don't look good. It don't look good. So, I mean, you definitely did not want to get under this level. And that I think is going to be pretty critical. And when I say this level, we're talking about 5.5 cents. We'll mark that. Let's mark that just to be a little bit more clear and why I think it's important. So what you can see there, right? It was resistance before you actually had that impulse move to the upside. All right, that's important. When you see this move to the upside and it moves through with conviction after resistance, 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 you guys know I love the ascending level of support going into a horizontal level of resistance. Usually it pops or at least breaks. I'd say the odds are in your favor. Let's just get rid of all this junk here. Let's clean this up. Oop. Don't want to get rid of that. There you go. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Cool. And come on. Gosh, what was I doing? It's funny when you go back and look at some of your stuff sometimes. All right, there we go. Cleaning it up a little bit. So this is a pretty important horizontal level. You can see here, and then as it works its way back down, look, like I challenge you guys to do that sometimes. It's like take the price action out, and then look, top of the range here, right? Look at the gap here. So there's not a lot of volume in this area. I was talking about that with MYX. When MYX came down, I was like, hey, if it loses this range, you're going back down to like the twos. The twos, right? Significant drop. Why? Because there was no volume. There's nothing here to really hang your hat on. And so that's kind of the deal with Caspa too, it looks like. There was a little bit here, but between, 7.5 all the way down to 5.5, there's just not a lot going on in that area. That's why a lot of people, love volume and they like volume profiles, yada, yada, yada. But coming back down to retest the top of the range, we see that quite a bit. Well, you came back down, retest the top of the range. What happens? Boing. All right, looks good. You doubled. You more than 2x'd. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But now, what are you seeing? Right? It's just losing strength. And again, I'm not a fundamental guy, so I really don't have a huge explanation of why. But I would say I don't like being underneath of this level here at about 5.5. And I probably wouldn't, I would not take a long right here. Personally, I would have to be above 5.5 at a minimum. and I still see that as high risk, but at least you stand a chance with maintaining the trend. If you've been holding cash for a long time, I'm sorry. And I'm not saying it's over, like by any means. Any project at any time, they could do some kind of update, they could lock on a deal, but that's the risk that you're taking with altcoins, is that they have to do something. They have to provide some utility. Something has to happen for an altcoin to pop. Like the community itself will drive a token, especially memes. It will drive for quite a while. And my understanding is the cast crowd can get a little toxic at times. The cast, they love their cast, all right. But here nor there, like you got to get over 5.5 for me to even think about a long. And then not in my right mind, probably wouldn't be able to take it past about 6.5. Right? You see where it got rejected. You see the trend line working its way down. You see the golden pocket here. I mean 6 to 6.5. Honestly, is my all right. That's where I would cut that one off. Right? And so what am I looking at? You get above, come down, cool, and then you work your way up, right? And that's where I cut it off. Why? See this here? It's showing you that there's willing sellers. You have the golden pocket, obviously, and you have the trend line working its way down. So for me, what does that end up being? I mean, that's a huge trade. Even if you were to take it to the 618 by itself, it's a massive trade. That's over 10%. So like there's opportunities out there for a lot of different tokens and projects for different reasons. But I couldn't invest any amount of capital into this right now and feel comfortable with it being below 5.5. You got to be above 5.5 in my mind, and that's not even a guarantee. It's just skewing the probabilities a little bit more in your favor. Just kind of taking a look, zooming out a little bit. Let's do a fixed range volume profile on this area here, right? Kind of looks like two different ranges if you're looking at the price action. All right. Fixed range volume profile, cool. This is where it starts the range. And we'll say this is where it ends. Running a little bit slow right now. Well, that looks pretty good. What do you say? It's not showing me anything. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's not uploading. I was trying to see where POC in the value area low is. My guess would be it's somewhere around the 786, but I don't know what's going on with that. I did try to install some software here on OBS. That could be the culprit. Could be the culprit. All right, little pitch for you guys. If you guys are enjoying the TA, you're getting something out of this, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate that. That would help me out very much. Let's go on to, let's look at the chat real quick. See what you guys got going on. TradeFly has accepted the terms. What do you? Oh gosh, I can only imagine. Mom wants a trade-off versus TradeFly. I think a trade-off, like a competition. If you want, I'm down. I don't care. It's pretty much like how I broke into the space, was doing the little trading wars competition. So yeah, let's do it, man. All right. we'll look at XRP real quick. And then we're going to get out of here. Well, you can see what I'm looking at here. You work your way back up to this horizontal level, you know, and you see some bearish structure coming out of there. I mean, that's a very, very clear range. You know, and this aligns again, you know, what I was talking about was seeing those horizontal levels and then, you know, a descending or ascending level of support or resistance, kind of squeezing. I would say, you know, the vast majority of the times, like you see the pressure is building to one side, and obviously can't take much away from the wick, but what did it do? Stair step down into the next range, right? So here we are consolidating in the next range below. Not ideal. You don't want to be in this neighborhood, obviously, but here or there, you got a lot of resistance above you. You got the golden pocket, you got a horizontal, and I'm assuming right here, you know, I'm just looking for an area to see a rejection, but here or there, let's get rid of that, make it a little bit more clear. That's, I mean, up to about 2.68, 2.7. That's where I see you're going to have some resistance. And there could be an opportunity here for a little bit of a short. Again, you'll have to see the right structure out of that area. Can we come back down to at least the low here? Or even the middle, like the POC, that's still a 7.96. I'd be comfy with that. Let's make that a little bit bigger. So you work your way back up, get that rejection. Obviously, stop loss will be above the wick there, 618. And then your entry will probably be a little bit lower as it works its way back down. So you could look for that. I would say that's not as high confidence. Reason being is we're not really chasing any liquidity, right? That's just looking at, you know, where we find support, where we find resistance, and, you know, there's confluence between those areas. Let's see what the moving average or where the moving average is at. So you're under the 200. That's going to be tough sledding, honestly, even to get up there. Even to get up there because you're under the 200. Then you got the moving averages all working their way down. I mean, they're correcting very quickly, especially the 21. You got the 50. You got the dynamic reactor, all in, you know, around the 618 and this horizontal level. 21 is just aggressively moving down, crossing the 200. So, going to be tough sledding. I would say if you're looking at a long for XRP, that's a little risky right now. And you're probably going to want to get back into the range here, get above the moving averages, but then you run straight into this trend line. So, here or there, let's just zoom out a little bit. Look at the buy zone. Wish I would have bought. Never expected that to happen. But wait, I mean, think about this. All of this from here to here, all that area, there was liquidity. And look what it did. One shot. Took it all. Even took what was left of this right here. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. That's why I think people are screaming about manipulation right now. And I can't necessarily say that I totally disagree. Pretty much like reset the market. Let's take this from here. Yeah, because there's liquidity here. And then the next step up is here. And then the next step up is here. And then the next step up is here. So we bring this back over. Look at this. I mean, I'm not like, I don't know, conspiracy theory is not the right word, but I'm not the guy that usually screams about stuff and jumps up and down, that, you know, weird things that happen in the market, but damn. Could it be any more perfect? Like, look, we know this was all liquidity for XRP. All this right here. And in one shot, in, what was it, in like 15 minutes? Yeah, that's within a 15-minute candle. It took all of it. So yeah, it starts there at that horizontal. Took all of it. Maybe a little bit more than 15 minutes. Kind of had the startings and then like that one candle right there, just insane. Maybe 2 candles. Yeah, this one and this one, man. It's just crazy. I don't know. I mean, I think that's why a lot of people are kind of rubbed the wrong way. And like I said, I think a couple Fridays ago, you just probably created a bunch of Bitcoin maxis. And they may not even know if they want to do that. Because gold's ripping. Gold's outperformed Bitcoin this year. It's my understanding. So why? Let's talk about that too. I don't know if you guys realize what's going on with gold. I don't know if you guys have done any research on it, but what's happening, so you understand why gold is ripping, is there's kind of an international competition. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to back their money, back their financials, and basically like issue like bonds and all that stuff. Like, but it's all backed, like it's exchangeable. Like, hey, you use our money. Let's say China. You use our money. That will be backed and redeemable for gold instead of the dollar. Dollar's losing its value, right? Like we can clearly see that. And then gold is increasing its value. And so, it's providing some leverage, right? It's actually, it's one of those times where like, us being the financial reserve or the currency of the world, which does change hands, by the way, or change over time. Like that's happened over history a few times. It's inevitable that the dollar will not be like the world currency that everyone uses, right? People used to default to the dollar because it was strong and it was resilient. And we've kind of put ourselves in a bad situation because of the debt. They're talking about a potential like reset, right? How are they going to do that? They're talking about cryptocurrency. That's why they're kind of going so hard into that. We don't know. That's all speculation. But understand that there's a lot of countries, specifically China, that are buying up gold at a rapid rate like never before. And so that's why you're seeing the value of it shoot up. They're putting these like they're stashing them in vaults, and they're stashing it away, right? So like it's not really being transacted with. It's like it's being kept. So imagine if somebody were to just hodl Bitcoin and just take it off the market and like, all right, cool, this is mine now, and I'm gonna use it as collateral. Right? And that's what a lot of smart people do with Bitcoin, right? They use it as collateral. They use it to take loans against it. And like that's how they're preserving their Bitcoin, but at the same time reaping the benefits, reaping the rewards of having Bitcoin. I think it's gold's kind of being used in that same manner right now. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys how read up you are on what's kind of going on with gold, why it's really ripping. But that is a big piece of it, and that's why too the U.S. we've actually started bringing some of our gold back to the United States. Understand that our gold, not all of it, was actually kept in the United States. But now that we're having this like international competition, with essentially a peer-to-peer, which is what China is now. They're certified peer-to-peer. Okay, so understand that when you start thinking about them in terms of military capabilities, when you start thinking about them in terms of manufacturing, they're ahead of us in manufacturing. But they are now a true peer-to-peer. There's no doubt about that, and it is tensions have risen, and understand that like we ourselves have started to react to that by kind of hodling our own gold and bringing that gold. Why do you think gold was making the headlines of like, hey, like we need to make sure that we actually have the gold we say we have? Like there's a reason for that. And China is a big reason for that. So here or there, soapbox. You guys don't care about that crap. But There you go. You guys will have to explain to me what the heck red is all about. Let me know in the Discord. But I'm going to get out of here. I hope everyone has a great day. As always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. I gave you the sauce. I continue to give you the sauce. We are, I believe, 250 hours away from you guys getting your rib emojis back. So that's going to be a good day for you guys. That will be exciting. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. Trade safe. Be safe. I'm out.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.